This is the ACME Payload Drone. Think of it as an oversized toy quadcopter, fully made of plastic with a range of no more than 100 meters. It's light, flexible, features are bigger than your average quad propellers, but unlike most drones of this price, it doesn't feature a camera of any kind. Look at that big empty space between the legs. What it does come with is this plastic clip. This has been designed to fit an action camera, meaning you supply the camera yourself. The cradle accommodates action cams with similar dimensions to the GoPro Hero 4, a very common action cam shape, so the KitVision Escape 4KW slotted in snugly. You then attach that to the underside of the drone and you're ready to fly. So now you have a relatively cheap drone with a pretty good camera. That's rare. The ACME Payload Drone also has vibration absorbers to lessen movement in the camera cradle, and a larger than average battery to power it. That's a 1200 mAh battery there, again quite rare for a quad of this price and size. The controller is a fairly average chunky plastic affair. Oh no, what's this? The left stick can move freely, meaning this quadcopter can't auto hover, so you have to balance the throttle yourself as you do with smaller quads and racing drones. But apart from that one disappointment, the controller is solid and has an LCD display. Right, let's get this thing in the air. Despite the lack of auto hover, the payload drone handled quite well. But I have a lot of experience flying things like this, so if this is your first quad, you might find it challenging. And the footage from the cam? Remember, you shouldn't judge the quality of the camera here, that's KitVision's cam, not ACME's. Rather, how does the quad keep the camera steady for decent photography? And it kind of doesn't, does it? Those rubber dampeners just seem to be far too loose, and the cam wobbles around quite a bit. In fact, I'm wondering if it would work better without them at all. Still, that said, at speed the footage was smoother, and it is quite remarkable to get image quality like this from what is essentially an inexpensive toy quad. I just wish ACME had included an auto hover ability, like other smaller and cheaper quads tend to possess these days. If it did, you could concern yourself more with lining up a great shot instead of battling with the throttle to keep the thing in the air. But if you do have experience doing that, this is a lot of fun. It's also very quick. There are just two speed settings and they are very different from each other, with the highest making the drone impressively fast and agile. Just be careful, because you've got your expensive action cam dangling from the underside. You can tilt the camera cradle slightly to get a different angle. Yes, the legs are now in shot, but if you got around that, you could use it for some cool drone selfie shots. Again, auto hover would really help with that. Just be wary as your action cam will be attached without a waterproof enclosure. My cam got slightly wet from the damp grass. It was fine and it worked normally, but it is something to consider if you've got a pricey cam that hates the slightest bit of moisture. So although I'm disappointed that a drone designed to carry a decent camera couldn't keep itself steady, despite cheaper and smaller quads possessing that ability, the fact that it can carry anything at all is impressive. It's tough, it's quick, and if you sorted out those wobbly shock absorbers, it could provide great aerial footage on the cheap.